Ian Wainwright, participating producer from the Royal Shakespeare Company based at Stratford upon Avon, just 20 minutes or so down the road from the Albany Theatre, where the All Winners is being staged from July 18 to 24. And Ian, you're participating in a number of ways in the event, not least by together with colleagues acting as freelancers, giving workshops in which you'll share the tricks of the trade, the techniques that you use on stage with the Royal Shakespeare Company in terms of stage combat and direction and acting and voice and text.
See, now you say that, it does sound like I'm going to teach people how to suck eggs, which was always our danger whenever we were doing open stages work and our workshops. Just to explain, our artists at the RSC are generally freelance, so they will work as freelance practitioners. So Michael and Tom, in this case, are coming as freelance workers to perform their to run their workshops, and sometimes they will come and work for us, if you like. So I think the interesting thing that we would disabuse people of when they first started working with amateurs and the RSC is not everybody lives at the RSC, but actually that we work with a number of practitioners who are working in all different theatres from all different backgrounds. So and sometimes they're working for ours, and sometimes they're working for the National, sometimes they're working for Bristol Old Vic, sometimes they're working for other people. What we found was a sharing was what we really like about working with amateur theatres in workshops is that quite often we'll work with young people, or we might work with adults, and we're teaching theatre from the sort of ground up. What's really great in workshops with amateur theatre makers, and this is what I mean about sucking eggs, is that we're quite often, there was somebody in that workshop, quite a few people in that workshop quite often, who've been in more plays than I've seen. So actually they will have a huge amount of experience. So we're sharing particular elements of how we approach the work to people with a lot of experience of being on stage. So we will say, oh, do you know when you're on stage and this? Oh, yes, I do. Actually, I do understand this. So you're working with people with a lot of experience, but might not have encountered a particular idea that's in our rehearsal rooms at the moment. So in the rehearsal room, we're thinking of this, or we work like this. Oh, that's interesting. I can use that. And what we really like, and I think this is the same for me and Tom and Michael, is we know they're going to leave that rehearsal room and not go, maybe someday in the future I might use that. They're going directly from there into some rehearsals. I've got a rehearsal next week. I've got a rehearsal tomorrow. I'm going to go back into that rehearsal room. I'm going to try out that idea. And I tell you what, if it doesn't work, they quite often let us know. I did that thing that you said. It was rubbish, it didn't work at all. And quite often we're couching everything with, this works for some writers, or this works in some ways. I think what in my work, and I think this is for Tom and for Michael as well, is that how much in the professional rehearsal room, not all professional rehearsal rooms, but the ideal is that you want to draw performances from your actors. The idea being that one idea coming from that actor, coming from that performer, is worth 1,000 things that you make that person do. So that directing isn't about, it isn't in the same way we think of film directors, someone sat in a chair with the word director on the back, with a megaphone, telling people what to do, where to stand and what to do. And I think so much of our experience of directors comes from film. Now, we think our stereotype of a director is a Cecil B. DeMille sort of megaphone man, or a sort of auteur in a film, in the film world, a Francis Ford Coppola sort of auteur of something in the film world. So it's that kind of thing. Whereas actually in the rehearsal room, the director is asking questions more often than not, and seeing what. And those questions provoke their actors. So I think it's that world rather than telling people what to do. And I think sometimes, understandably, in the amateur and sometimes in the professional world, the temptation to go stand there, say it like this, do it like this, feels like a shortcut. But actually you end up with a very staid performance from that. And you end up with a paint by numbers production, if you like, from that.
I think it's worth underlining, although the topics that we were talking about earlier for the conference, I mean, are serious matters, but there's fun to be had in this, and in this this whole week of celebration of theatre, not least in the workshops. I've done a workshop with Tom Jordan. That barroom brawl that we did lives in my memory, and I've worked with Michael Corbidge, and I look forward to going to your workshop, being part of that this week.